In February 2026, Elon Musk made a $250 billion move that was supposed to change the future forever. SpaceX merged with xAI, creating a $1.25 trillion super empire. Rockets, satellites, and superintelligence, all under one roof. It looked unstoppable. But just weeks later, something strange started happening behind the scenes. The elite team that Musk personally built began to disappear quietly one by one. No headlines, no explanations. By March, they were all gone. So what did they see that made them walk away from the most powerful company on Earth? I'm Josh, and on today's episode of the Infographic Show, we're explaining why Elon Musk's $250 billion AI empire is empty. Chapter 1: The False Advantage. For all his flaws, Elon Musk has always been ambitious, maybe too ambitious. Moon tourism, Mars colonies, flying cars, high-speed underground tunnels. He promised a future straight out of science fiction. Fans were captivated, imagining a world reshaped by his vision. Some of his ideas have become real, but his boldest promises are still just pipe dreams. Yet every failure, every setback hasn't slowed him down. If anything, it's only fueled his confidence. So when he started his own AI business, xAI, in 2023, he didn't just want it to be another player in the industry, he wanted to lead the way and take machine learning to new heights. To do that, he needed to make the best hardware in the business, and that's exactly what he set out to do. In a nondescript corner of South Memphis sits a repurposed Electrolux plant. It's home to Colossus, the world's largest supercomputer designed to train xAI's chatbot Grok and other advanced AI systems. Setting up a data center normally takes 4 years. Musk didn't want to wait. He was told 2 years might be possible. Still too slow. In the end, his team built Colossus in just 122 days, shattering every expectation. When Colossus came online, it wasn't just powerful, it was a monster. Miles of fiber optics, 200,000 GPUs, and a maze of chips and circuits designed to devour data and train the smartest AI ever built. And Musk wasn't satisfied. He wanted more. 500,000 GPUs, 1 million. He wanted to grow the strongest supercomputer the world had ever known. And Colossus isn't just powerful, it is massive. It's got its own energy grid, battery banks, and gas turbines, sucking hundreds of megawatts just to keep it alive. A system of this size and scale comes at a cost. The hardware alone has been estimated at around $7 billion. xAI's plans to add even more chips could tack on tens of billions more, not to mention the insane cost of running Colossus 24/7. But none of that seems to faze Elon Musk. His approach is simple: throw enough chips at Colossus and it'll beat his rivals. OpenAI, DeepMind, Microsoft, propelling xAI to the top of the AI world. Every GPU, every dollar spent is a bet on building the ultimate AI empire. But there is a fundamental flaw with that. Raw silicon alone isn't enough to create the world's best AI. You need people for that. Human minds, engineers, architects, designers, developers, geniuses, who can all channel that raw computing firepower into world-changing innovations. And that's why the other AI giants focus on people, not just hardware. They chase the brightest minds, offering massive salaries and perks to lure in top talent. Even the most powerful supercomputer is useless without the humans who know how to make it work. They've improved their technology too, but they haven't gone all in on GPUs and processors in the same way Musk has. xAI took a different approach, pouring money and GPUs into building Colossus, yet failed to hold on to the brilliant minds who built the company in the first place. Without them, all of that power meant little. So while Musk might openly boast about Colossus's computing power and record-setting tech specs, behind the scenes there is a brutal reality. xAI may have all the gear, but it has no idea how to use it effectively, and it didn't take long for the first warning signs to appear. Chapter 2: The Radioactive Confession. Grok launched to much fanfare and quickly became a core feature on the X platform. But as new versions rolled out, something became clear. Elon's scary smart AI was not living up to the hype. It wasn't polling ahead of the rivals or outperforming ChatGPT or Google's Gemini on the tests that mattered. Far from it. In fact, in numerous expert comparisons and benchmark breakdowns, Grok repeatedly fell short. Its content creation was lacking, with the model often delivering bland and basic responses. It was a far cry from the more nuanced and higher quality content of its competitors. Grok struggled to keep up with its rivals when it came to coding, leaving users frustrated. Studies also showed it had a higher error rate, generating incorrect citations and misleading information. It wasn't a bad model, but it wasn't the be-all end-all that Elon had been promising. And then came something much more controversial. Grok seemed to go rogue. In May 2025, it began ranting about white genocide in South Africa, even when asked about completely unrelated topics. A couple of months later, reports emerged of Grok praising Adolf Hitler and spreading anti-Semitic content. It went on to aggressively insult various world leaders like the Prime Minister of Poland, Donald Tusk, and it spread false claims following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It was embroiled in an even deeper controversy toward the end of 2025 when it was found to have been used for creating sexually suggestive images of women and girls. Far from becoming the world-leading ChatGPT killer, Grok was an embarrassing mess, and several xAI co-founders had already left the company. But Musk couldn't admit defeat. He had to keep on putting on a brave face, acting as though this was all part of his master plan to keep the funds flowing into the project. In early 2026, Tesla poured $2 billion of the company's cash reserves directly into xAI. Barely 2 months later, the mask finally slipped. On March 12, 2026, Musk wrote a tweet, at last acknowledging the real state of his AI enterprise. xAI was not built right the first time around, so is being rebuilt from the foundations up. Almost 3 years after the company had been founded, the man behind this grand project admitted that the whole thing was broken. It needed to be completely undone, just weeks after valuing the company at $250 billion to combine it with SpaceX. For all of his posturing and proclamations, Musk had seen the data. He knew full well that xAI's models were miles behind those of OpenAI and other firms. He watched as his hyped AI projects like Grokopedia crashed at early hurdles or were quietly shelved. Meanwhile, more and more of xAI's top minds walked out to chase other opportunities, and Musk's empire was starting to crack from within. His co-founders had seen it too. They had seen their billionaire boss talk about earth-shattering breakthroughs and next-level technologies that would usher civilization into a whole new era. Now he was admitting this whole thing was broken and he had to start from square one. It was a radioactive confession with instantaneous effects. Only a day after Musk's tweet, 2 of his remaining co-founders resigned from the company. They walked away, and all the knowledge and expertise that had kept xAI running went with them. The xAI ship was taking on water, and much of the crew had already left on lifeboats. xAI might be failing, but at least this channel never crashes, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You get a front row seat to the chaos without Grok insulting you. Chapter 3: The Talent Bloodbath. When he founded xAI in March 2023, Elon Musk did so alongside 11 of the brightest minds in Silicon Valley. But as the months and years passed, those expert architects and engineers decided that better opportunities lie elsewhere. Kyle Kosich was the first to go, departing xAI in 2024. He originally joined Musk from OpenAI, the biggest name in the AI industry. Musk seemingly tempted Kosich into being a part of something that he promised could be even better than OpenAI. But a year with the company was enough for Kosich to do a U-turn, fleeing xAI and returning to his former employer. 2025 saw 2 more departures. In February, Christian Seghetti, a Google veteran who brought immense technical experience and expertise to the xAI team, made the call to leave the company. Next to leave was Igor Babushkin, who originally joined xAI from Google DeepMind and served as the company's chief engineer. He announced that he was going to leave the company in August, deciding to launch his own venture firm. This was just the beginning. The resignations ramped up in 2026. Mathematics genius and Microsoft alumnus Greg Yang revealed in January that he was stepping down for health reasons. The next month, Yuhai Tony Wu followed suit, posting online to let his followers know that he was leaving to pursue his next chapter. Wu had been one of the most significant figures in the xAI leadership structure. A day later, xAI was dealt another blow, with Jimmy Ba also resigning from the company. Ba is a massive name in the AI sector. He co-authored the 2014 Atom Optimization paper, the second most cited AI paper of all time, with over 100,000 citations. While many of the xAI co-founder departures up to then had been reportedly quite amicable, Ba's appeared to be different. Reports stated that he left the company over rising tensions about demands to improve Grok's performance. The end of February brought about another exit, with Toby Polin following the example of his fellow former co-founders. He posted a tweet in which he effectively thanked Elon Musk for the opportunity, but revealed he was leaving the company. All of a sudden, only a fraction of the original founding team remained. It was about to get worse. In early March, Zhang Dai and Guodong Zhang, who formerly worked at Google Brain and DeepMind, left xAI. Dai had been a key member of the technical team. Zhang was said to report directly to Musk and he'd been put in charge of two of the company's biggest projects, Grok Code and Grok Imagine. By mid-March, only Manuel Kreuss and Ross Nordin remained. But it was only a matter of time. The reasons for their departures have not all been shared or clearly stated, so we can only speculate as to why each of these men chose to leave the company. Some may have had better offers from elsewhere. Some may have grown tired of Musk's style of leadership and failure to deliver on his promises. Some might have simply felt that they had nothing left to give the company or that their talents would be better served elsewhere. It's not uncommon for talented tech professionals to move about from one firm to another over time, but it is rare to see almost a dozen different co-founders leave the company they created only a few years into its existence, when it still allegedly had so much left to achieve. And while there are plenty of bright minds around Silicon Valley, people like the xAI co-founders are not easy to replace. Every time a key figure left, xAI's operations took a hit. Musk brought in the replacements, but when a top-tiered coder or project lead walks out, you just can't plug someone else in and pretend nothing happened. They take talent, creativity, and experience with them, resources you can't buy. More importantly, they are critical in the race to dominate AI. And while Musk was busy tweeting, making more promises he couldn't keep, and watching the resignations pile up, his rivals weren't slowing down. Chapter 4: The War Musk Can't Win. While Elon Musk's allies were abandoning him, one of the Tesla boss's biggest rivals was making moves. Mark Zuckerberg was offering jaw-dropping $300 million contracts over 4 years to lure the best and brightest minds in the AI industry to join his team at Meta. At OpenAI and Google too, Sam Altman and Jeff Dean have been doing everything in their power to hunt down the engineers, designers, mathematicians, and computer scientists who can lead their projects to glory. The people joining these firms aren't selling out or simply looking for the biggest paydays. They're seeking stability. They want to be a part of long-term projects with clear goals, vision, and structure, operating under project heads. They want bosses who know how to strike the balance between ambition and realism. Musk may have his world-leading supercomputer. He may still be able to boast about the number of GPUs powering Grok or the amount of megawatts his AI data centers consume. But all of that matters little without an equally world-leading team of talented people to run the show. Meanwhile, over at Google, OpenAI, and Meta, and elsewhere, multifaceted super teams of AI engineers and innovators are being assembled, all while infrastructure is steadily improving. Across the US and even in China, AI rivals are catching up. They're building massive data centers, scaling their teams, and improving their technology in smart, strategic ways. Meanwhile, Musk remains stuck in his Grok ghost town, watching the competition show him exactly how it should be done. And with each passing day, the odds are stacked increasingly in favor of those firms. xAI's chances of success are slipping away because companies like OpenAI and Google don't play around when it comes to talent. They have huge teams, thousands of PhDs, billions of dollars invested in research and development. They bring years of combined experience, unparalleled levels of expertise, all working together toward clear common goals. These companies have faith in the process. They know that greatness can't be rushed, and that a little time and patience are sometimes needed to bring out the biggest, most important breakthroughs. They build their AI models block by block, iterating gradually but convincingly, building slowly but surely towards something better than before. Musk's skeleton crew staff and move fast, break things attitude was never going to be enough to compete with that. He thought he could sprint to the top, using his vast fortune to brute force his way to success. And he thought his team of co-founders would remain loyal to the cause every step of the way, but that is not what happened. It took some a little longer than the others, but one by one, xAI's creators grew tired and disillusioned with the project. They lost faith in Musk, they lost belief in Grok, and lost patience with the entire company. Knowing that every year of their careers is precious, they each made the call to pursue other options, undermining Musk's boasts about xAI being the best name in the industry. The Tesla boss's erratic behavior certainly hasn't helped things. Musk is famous for his hyper-aggressive timelines, hardcore work patterns, near-impossible objectives, and constant moving of the goalposts. And that kind of approach might have worked out for him at Tesla, and even to some extent at X. But AI research by its very nature requires time and patience. It is not something Musk can speed up or solve by snapping his fingers or flinging more money at the problem. And when you're working with people at the top of their game with incredible intelligence and amazing ideas floating around in their minds, they have to be given the freedom to put their skills to best use. It seems, at least from the outside, that Musk failed to do that. He is the king of an empty castle, the captain of a sinking ship, the face of a failing brand. All of his closest subjects have left him. While a few new faces have joined xAI, it may be only a matter of time before they too follow their predecessors and opt out of the company. Even after the mega merger with SpaceX, xAI still lags majorly behind its rivals when it comes to real human brainpower. It may have the funding to survive for many more years and the tech to remain semi-relevant in the sector for the foreseeable future. But it would take a Herculean effort to turn things around and even come close to catching up with its main rivals. Instead, what's likely to happen is that OpenAI, Meta, Anthropic, and other firms will surge ahead, leaving Musk even deeper in the dust. Musk may have the money, the tech, and the ambition, but is it enough to turn things around, or is he already falling too far behind? To see the full story, watch The Ugly Truth About Elon Musk, or click on this video instead.